Girlfriend institutes 90-day no intimacy rule to reclaim her autonomy. Expects me to beg and chase for 3 months to prove my love. I comply completely, disconnect emotionally, rebuild entire life. Be me, 38, senior software engineer in Portland, Oregon. 3 years with girlfriend Andrea, who got deep into online feminist discourse. Making $125,000, stable life, thought relationship was solid. About to learn that malicious compliance destroys manipulative relationship tests. Because she wanted to prove our connection was more than physical. But experiment proved relationship was entirely one-sided. Here's how our 90-day test became my 90-day exit strategy. Let me establish what we had before everything changed. Been with Andrea for 3 years, met through mutual friends. I'm 38, work as senior software engineer at tech company. Specialize in AI and machine learning, good job, $125,000 annually. Live in decent 2-bedroom apartment in downtown Portland. Andrea is 36, works at nonprofit focused on women's advocacy. Makes around $52,000. She moved in my place about a year ago. First 2 years were genuinely good, normal relationship. We go hiking on weekends, try new restaurants, travel occasionally. Had similar interests, got along with each other's friends. Physical chemistry was good. Emotional connection seemed solid. I thought we were building something real, something lasting. Around year 2.5 mark, something started shifting. Andrea got really deep into online discourse about gender and relationships. Started following certain accounts, joining certain groups. Every conversation began including terms like patriarchy, emotional labor, toxic masculinity. At first, I tried to be supportive boyfriend. Would listen to her talk about these concepts, try to understand. Figured it was just new interest she was passionate about. If I cooked dinner, which I did most nights because I got home earlier, she'd thank me, but then explain how societal expectations for women to cook are a tool of patriarchal control, even though I was the one cooking. I just stand there with spatula thinking I just wanted to make pasta. If I held door open for her, sometimes she'd get weird look. Couple times told me it was benevolent sexism, implying she was incapable of opening door herself. So I stopped holding doors, seemed like right thing. Few weeks later she got upset because I didn't hold door. Asked if I had problem with basic manners. Can't win, feeling like I'm constantly walking on eggshells. My natural instincts to be kind or helpful, being reframed as microaggressions or problematic behavior. It's exhausting. Every interaction is potential minefield. She started sending me articles and videos to watch. Titles like Deconstructing Male Privilege or Why Men Need to Do the Work. I watched some, honestly all felt like same message repackaged. Felt like I was being held accountable for every wrong ever committed by my entire gender throughout history. Meanwhile, I'm doing everything good boyfriend should do. Cook most meals, clean apartment, listen to her vent about work for hours. Remember important dates, plan our activities, make sure she feels heard. I'm doing all the emotional labor, but that term, only ever used to describe her feelings, never mine. Double standards becoming impossible to ignore. She could be moody and distant. My job to gently ask what's wrong. Give her space, be patient, not pressure her. If I was quiet after a long day, at work dealing with difficult project, I was stonewalling her, being emotionally unavailable. She would talk for hours about her feelings, her struggles, her perspective. When I tried to talk about something bothering me at work, conversation would somehow circle back to her within minutes. Like my problems only valid if they related to her somehow. Her friends all exactly like her, same ideology, same language. When they came over, apartment turned into echo chamber. They talk about how all men are trash. Then look at me and say, oh, not you, James, you're one of the good ones. Never felt like compliment, felt like I was pet they were patting on head. My own friends started noticing change in me. I was more tired, less likely to go out, less engaged. My buddy Tyler straight up asked me if I was happy. I lied, Said yes, because what else was I going to say? My girlfriend thinks my existence is a systemic problem, but her pasta is good. Whole situation slowly grinding me down. Still cared about Andrea, but feeling less like partner. More like student in class I never signed up for. February 2024, everything came to head. I came home from work on Wednesday evening, feeling pretty good about day, solved major bug in production, thinking about what to make for dinner. Maybe we'd watch movie. Andrea sitting on couch waiting for me. No TV on, no phone in hand, just sitting with serious expression. That look, the we need to have serious discussion face. My stomach dropped. I knew this wasn't going to be simple chat. Put my bag down, sat in chair opposite her. She took deep breath, like she was about to make grand proclamation. Told me she'd been doing a lot of thinking about our relationship, about her own autonomy and bodily autonomy specifically. Said modern relationships, too focused on physical intimacy. Holdover from patriarchal ownership ideals. My brain already turning to static, knew this wasn't going well. Then she dropped it. I've decided I need to reclaim my physical and emotional space. For next 90 days, I'm instituting no intimacy rule. I just stared at her. Must have looked like complete idiot. Asked her to clarify what no intimacy meant exactly. She explained, no physical contact beyond what you'd give casual friend. No kissing, no cuddling, no holding hands, nothing. 90 days, 3 full months. First thought was that I must have done something wrong. Is this about me? Did I do something to upset you? Felt like punishment, and I had no idea what crime was. She shook her head, almost looking disappointed in my question. This isn't about you, James. This is about me. It's journey of self-discovery. I need to know our connection is more than just physical. I need to desexualize our dynamic to see if we can connect on purely spiritual and intellectual level. Sounded like she was reading from script she found online. I tried to reason with her, told her physical intimacy is normal. Healthy part of relationship, cutting it off completely felt extreme. Suggested we could talk about it, maybe find compromise. Her face hardened. So you're not willing to support me on my personal journey? You're trying to control my body and my choices? Checkmate. She pulled out trump card. No way to argue against that without sounding like monster. I told her it wasn't about control, it was about partnership. Decision this big should be made together, not unilaterally. She said that was my male privilege speaking, that I felt entitled to her body. Conversation was over before it really began. It was ultimatum, not discussion. Her final words, if you truly respect me and our relationship, you will honor my boundary without question. Felt completely powerless. She framed it perfectly. Any resistance from me would be proof of toxic masculinity she was supposedly fighting against. It was genius trap, had to admit. So I just sat there and nodded. Okay, I understand. I will respect your decision. She smiled, genuinely happy smile. Like I just passed huge test, proved I was good boyfriend. She thought we just had breakthrough. I felt like our relationship just been put on life support. And she was holding the plug. First few days were incredibly awkward. Would wake up and instinctively roll over to put arm around her. Then remember new rule and stop myself mid-motion. Come home and go to kiss her hello. Have to awkwardly divert into weird half-wave instead. She seemed perfectly fine with everything. Cheerful, almost glowing, energized by this. Told her friends I was being incredibly supportive. Doing the work to be better partner. Her friends looked at me with new approval. I was a good boy who followed rules. Inside, I was miserable, not about lack of physical contact itself, about unilateral nature of decision. Feeling of being completely dismissed. My feelings, my needs, my role in relationship, none of it mattered. I was just accessory to her journey of self-discovery. After about a week, met up with my friends at bar. Tyler, my buddy from college, and few other guys. Didn't plan on telling them, but they could tell something was off. Finally just laid it all out. The 90-day rule, the my body, my choice shutdown, everything. They were silent for a good minute, just looking at each other. Then Tyler, most brutally honest one, just laughed. So it's test, right? She's expecting you to beg. She wants you to spend next 3 months chasing her. Like desperate puppy, proving how much you want her. So at end she can grant you privilege of her affection back. When he said it like that, light bulb went on. He was absolutely right. This wasn't about her journey. It was power play, ultimate test of compliance. She didn't want partner. She wanted subject to orbit around her. Another friend chimed in. You have 2 choices, man. Play her game and be miserable, or just don't play. I asked what he meant by don't play. She set rules. She wants no intimacy, fine. Give her no intimacy in any form. She drew line in sand. Don't cross it. In fact, take 10 steps back from it. See how she likes the view from there? We talked for another hour. More we discussed, clearer path became. I wasn't going to be angry or resentful. Wasn't going to be passive-aggressive. I was going to comply, follow her rule to absolute letter. Went home that night with strange sense of calm. Game was on. I knew exactly what to do. Next morning, change began immediately. Woke up first, got ready for work, left apartment. Didn't wake her up, didn't say goodbye in person. Sent text, but different from usual. Instead of, hey babe, have great day, love you. Just left for work, have good day. Polite, informative, completely devoid of intimacy. At work, I focused entirely on my projects. Had big machine learning model to optimize. Didn't text her during lunch break to check in. Why would I? That's emotional intimacy. Rules were clear. Evening came home. She was on couch with laptop. Looked up expecting me to come over, kiss her forehead like I used to. I just gave small smile and nod, hey. Then went straight to bedroom to change and decompress. Didn't ask about her day. Didn't volunteer info about mine. Later went to kitchen to make dinner, just for myself. Made single serving of chicken and vegetables. She came in the kitchen, looking confused. Oh, I didn't realize you were cooking. What are we having? I'm just making something for myself. Wasn't sure what your plans were. Look on her face was surprise mixed with irritation. She ended up ordering takeout for herself. We ate in same room, but in silence. After dinner, I cleaned my plate, put in dishwasher. Went to my office to work on personal coding project. Didn't suggest we watch show together. Didn't ask if she wanted to talk. I was just there, roommate, polite, and completely disconnected. This became pattern for next 2 weeks. I was ghost in my own apartment. Stopped planning weekend activities for us. Stopped buying her favorite snacks when I went grocery shopping. Stopped initiating any non-essential communication. All my texts were purely logistical. I'll be home late tonight. Or, did you pay internet bill? Emotional side of relationship, part I've been maintaining for months, was completely shut down by me. Funny part, first week or so she seemed to love it. Told her friends I was finally giving her space she needed. Wrote long post online about importance of boundaries. How empowering it felt when partner respected them. She was basking in glory of her successful power move. She thought she was winning. Failed to realize I wasn't just respecting her boundary. I was building my own life on the other side of it. All energy I used to pour into her. Worrying about her moods, planning things for us. Trying to navigate her ideological minefield. Started pouring back into myself. Rejoined my old gym. Started going 4 times per week. Felt amazing to lift weights again without guilt. She used to comment that gym culture was toxic masculinity. Pulled out old personal projects I'd abandoned. Started coding again on side project, AI application I'd shelved. Started calling my friends more, making plans for weekends. My life, which had become so small and centered around her, began to expand again, and I was feeling good. Really good for first time in long time. Constant low-level anxiety I'd been living with was fading. Wasn't walking on eggshells anymore, just walking. Shifts started happening around 3rd week. Think she expected me to start cracking by then. Probably thought I'd come to her sad and lonely. Tell her I couldn't take it anymore, needed her back. That's when she'd have ultimate power. Either grant my wish or extend my probation. But I didn't crack. In fact, I was thriving. She started to notice changes in me. One evening, she came into my office while I was coding. "What are you doing?" she asked. "Just working on side project," I replied, eyes on screen. "You've been spending a lot of time on that lately. It's been nice getting back into it." Long, awkward silence. She was waiting for me to ask her question, engage her, turn my attention to her like I always did. I didn't just kept typing. She eventually said, "Okay, well, I'm going to watch show," and left. Could hear disappointment in her voice. Dynamic had flipped completely. 4 years, she'd been center of universe. I was planet in her orbit. Now, my planet was spinning off into own solar system. She was left standing there realizing gravity was gone. She started being one to initiate conversations. Would ask about my day at work. I'd give brief, polite summary. It was fine, busy, fixed production bug. Then wouldn't return the question. Why would I? Asking about her day was act of intimacy. Way of showing I cared about her emotional state. Intimacy was off table per her own rules. I was just being good partner, respecting boundaries. She started trying different ways to get my attention. Would complain loudly on phone to friends, clearly hoping I would overhear and come comfort her. I just put on my headphones, keep working. Started asking for help with things she could do herself. "James, can you open this jar for me?" I go open jar, hand it back, leave without word. Being helpful but not emotionally engaged. I was utility tool, which ironically was how she'd been making me feel for months. Frustration building in her, I could see it clearly. Her cheerful, empowered facade starting to crack. She expected me to be one suffering, but I was doing better than ever. She was one who was lonely. She was one feeling silence in apartment. She initiated 90-day period of no intimacy, only to discover she was one who couldn't handle it. Irony was so thick you could cut it with knife. Real turning point came about month and a half in. Just came home from gym, felt great, solid workout. Walking to shower when she stopped me in hallway. Looked me up and down. "Wow, you've been working out a lot. You look really good." First compliment she'd given me in months. Clear attempt to breach her own rule. It was test. Dangling piece of intimacy to see if I would bite. I just gave neutral smile. "Thanks, been feeling better since I started again." Didn't return compliment. Didn't use it to start conversation. Just acknowledged and started walking toward bathroom again. "Wait," she said. Stepped closer. Reached out to touch my arm. Moment her fingers made contact. I took small but deliberate step back. Didn't flinch or act disgusted, just created space. Looked at her, then down at her hand, then back at her face with calm, confused expression. "Is everything okay?" I asked. Her hand dropped aside. She looked stunned. I was just. She stammered. I gave her patient look. "I'm just trying to be respectful of boundary you set. That's all." You said no physical intimacy. Said it in perfectly calm, reasonable tone. Wasn't being jerk, was being model boyfriend, according to her own standards. Holding her accountable to very rule she imposed. Look on her face was masterpiece. Mix of shock, anger, and dawning horrified realization. Realization that her little test, her power game, had backfired in most spectacular way possible. She lost control, not just of me, but of entire situation she created. She just stood there speechless. I nodded politely and walked in a bathroom, closed door behind me, leaned against door and let out long, slow breath. For first time in very long time, I felt like I had my power back. Hadn't gotten it by fighting or arguing. Gotten it by simply agreeing with her. Atmosphere after that hallway incident was ice cold. She didn't speak to me for 2 solid days. Heavy, angry silence, different from peaceful silence I'd been enjoying. I just went about my business, gym, work, coding, repeat. Didn't push her to talk, didn't apologize. What was there to apologize for, playing by her rules? When she finally spoke, it was ambush. I was in kitchen getting glass of water. She came in and just stood there, arms crossed. Told me I was being childish and cruel. Said no intimacy was obviously not meant to be taken so literally. I should have understood the nuance. I just looked at her, asked what nuance. You said no physical contact. You said you wanted space. I'm giving you space, respecting your boundary. Isn't that what you wanted? Was genuinely asking, wanted to hear her explain. How no, actually meant, yes, but only when I want. She got flustered, said I was using her words against her, twisting her meaning. Claimed whole experiment meant to strengthen emotional connection. But I used it as excuse to completely check out. I calmly replied, it's hard to build emotional connection with someone who put up giant wall and explicitly told you not to come near it. Emotional connection requires effort from both people. I had been providing all that effort for years. For the last month and a half I stopped, and connection vanished. To me, that proved it was never two-way street to begin with. She hated that, had no logical comeback. Resorted to accusations instead. Told me I was emotionally stunted. Perfect example of toxic masculinity. Unable to handle relationship not centered on my physical needs. Was almost comical. I was one who spent years listening, comforting, supporting. She was one who unilaterally withdrew all affection. Based on trend she saw online. But somehow I was toxic one. I didn't even argue, just said, okay if that's what you think, and walked away. Her tantrum had zero effect. Like watching child scream at brick wall. That's when her tactics shifted. If guilt wouldn't work, maybe jealousy would. Started talking on phone with friends. Always a little louder when I was in room. Laughing a lot, mentioning some guy's name. Oh my God, Dara from work said funniest thing today. Casually mentioned old college friend, a guy. Had messaged her out of blue, wanted to catch up. She was watching me, looking for reaction. Flicker of anger, tightening of jaw, anything. She got nothing. I was genuinely focused on my own stuff. One time told me directly. Derek asked if I want to get drinks Friday after work. I was reading book on machine learning algorithms. Looked up from page. That's cool, have fun. Went right back to book. Silence that followed was deafening. Could feel her staring at side of my head. She expected me to ask who Derek was. Tell her I wasn't comfortable with it. Show some sign of possessiveness or jealousy. But I didn't care, genuinely. The James from 2 months ago would have been anxious. But new James, one who rediscovered his own life, just didn't have energy for manufactured dramas. If she wanted to get drinks with another guy, what was I going to do? Tell her she couldn't. After she spent a year lecturing me about control and autonomy, I was being perfectly secure, non-toxic boyfriend she always claimed she wanted. It was driving her absolutely insane. By the time we entered third and final month, apartment was psychological war zone. Her desperation was palpable and obvious. Game stopped, veiled threat stopped, replaced with sad, pathetic kind of pleading. She started trying to do things for me again. Made my favorite dinner. I thanked her politely. Ate it, then went back to my own world. Asked if I wanted to watch movies she knew I liked. I declined, said I had plans to video chat with friend. Every attempt she made to bridge gap met with polite but firm adherence to rules. Her rules that she created. One evening she broke down completely. Started crying right there in living room. Told me she missed me. She missed us. Said she made mistake. Whole 90-day thing was stupid. Wanted it to be over. This was it. The moment she thought she'd have all power. Old me would have melted immediately. Would have rushed to comfort her. Told her everything was okay. We'd go back to normal. But I wasn't old me anymore. I sat there and listened until she was finished. Then said in calmest voice I could manage. I understand you're upset, but we made agreement, and there are only few weeks left. I think we should see it through to end just like we planned. Weaponized word, we, as if this had ever been joint decision. Hearing me say that, hearing me refuse to end experiment, that she created absolutely broke her. Ultimate role reversal. She was now one begging for intimacy. I was one holding line, citing boundaries and agreements. She looked at me with horror in her eyes. Think in that moment she finally understood. Finally realized I wasn't playing game anymore. Wasn't trying to punish her, I was just done. 90-day clock wasn't countdown to our reunion. It was countdown to my departure. Last 2 weeks were quiet. She had given up, just drifting around apartment like ghost. Barely spoke to me, all fight gone out of her. During that time, I made my arrangements. Found new apartment on other side of Portland. Nice 1-bedroom in quieter neighborhood. Signed lease online, first month and deposit paid. Started packing my things discreetly, putting boxes in trunk of car when she wasn't home. Packed important documents, sentimental items. My computer equipment, my hobby stuff. Was detaching my life from hers piece by piece. Felt good, felt right, felt like clarity. Wasn't even angry at her anymore. Just felt profound sense of peace. She had given me greatest gift imaginable. 90-day free trial of life without her. And I had no intention of renewing subscription. Then final day arrived, day 90. Experiment officially over at midnight. Morning of day 91, I woke up feeling strange peace. Walked in the kitchen. She was already there. She'd made huge breakfast, pancakes, eggs, bacon. Was dressed up, wearing makeup. Smiled at me, fragile, hopeful smile. Morning, she said, voice trying to be cheerful. I made breakfast to celebrate. Celebrate what I asked, pouring coffee. It's over, we did it. The 90 days are done. Took a sip of coffee, sat down at table across from her. Didn't touch the food. You're right, I said. It's done. And I have to say it was an incredibly enlightening experience. Her smile widened. She thought this was reconciliation moment. I really want to thank you, Andrea. Seriously. You're welcome, she said, confused but going with it. No, really, I continued, looking her straight in the eye. You wanted to see if our connection was more than just physical. You wanted to see if we could connect on deeper level. Well, results are in. Leaned forward slightly. You gave me 90 days of clarity. 3 months to see what my life was like. Without constant pressure, endless lectures, and feeling that I was always one wrong move. Away from being bad person. Smile vanished from her face completely. You gave me time and space to reconnect with friends. Rediscover my hobbies. Remember who I was before relationship started revolving. Entirely around your ideology. For years, I put all my energy into you. Last 90 days, I put that energy into myself. And I've never been happier. My life is better. I'm healthier, more focused. More at peace than I've been in a very long time. She just stared, eyes wide with comprehension. You wanted to conduct experiment on relationship. Good scientist accepts data, whatever it says. Data is clear. My life is significantly better without you in it as partner. Started shaking her head, whispering, no, James, no. You wanted space, I said, standing up. You were right to want it. Now I'm going to give it to you permanently. Your 90-day rule was best thing that ever happened to me. It showed me the door. Now I'm walking through it. Turned and walked toward bedroom. She followed, starting to cry. You can't do this. It was just test, stupid test. I love you. Didn't respond. Already packed. Last bag night before. Grabbed it along with laptop bag. Walked to front door. She stood in my way. Tears streaming down face. Please, James, don't go. I'm sorry. I was wrong. Looked at her one last time. Not with anger or hatred. Just sad finality. Problem, Andrea, is you don't think you were wrong. You just think you lost. Goodbye. Gently moved past her, open door, walked out. Didn't look back. Could hear her starting to scream inside apartment. Raw, ugly sound of someone who played stupid game. And lost everything. Got in car, put bags in passenger seat. Started engine, pulled out a parking spot. As I drove away, blocked her number. Blocked her on every social media platform. Clean break, complete disconnect. Drove for about 10 minutes. Pulled over to side of road and just sat there. Didn't cry, didn't laugh, just felt light. Weight I'd been carrying for years was finally gone. Constant need to please, to anticipate, to appease gone. Feeling of being judged every single day gone. She wanted to start 90-day experiment to see if I was worthy of her. But in end, only thing experiment proved was that she wasn't worthy of me. Now 6 months later, September 2024. Life has been completely my own. New apartment is great, decorated it exactly how I want. No more walking on eggshells about masculine energy. Gym 5 days a week now. Feel incredible. Side project turned into actual startup idea. Got small grant to develop it further. Reconnected with old friends. Social life is back. Even started dating again. Nothing serious yet. But meeting people who actually appreciate me. Not trying to fix or reform or educate me. Ran into Andrea once at coffee shop 2 months ago. She looked terrible, tired, sad. She saw me, started to approach. I just gave polite nod and left. Wasn't being cruel, just protecting my peace. Heard through mutual friends she's been struggling. Tells people I abandoned her during vulnerable time. That I failed her test of emotional maturity. Friends who know truth just shake their heads. They saw what she put me through. They saw a transformation in me after I left. Tyler told me, best decision you ever made, man. You got yourself back. He's right, I did get myself back. That story of 90-day experiment. How girlfriend's power play became my exit strategy. How tests she designed to prove my devotion. Became proof I deserve better. She wanted to reclaim her autonomy. I reclaimed my entire life. She wanted to see if connection was deeper than physical. I discovered connection was entirely one-sided. She wanted 90 days of space. I gave her permanent space. And I've never regretted it for a single second. Sometimes people set traps for you. And best response is to not fight the trap. Just walk around it completely. She drew boundary, expecting me to bang against it. I simply built new life on other side. That's malicious compliance at its finest. Following rules so perfectly. That rule maker realizes rules were a mistake. Andrea wanted feminist relationship, where her boundaries were sacred, and her journey was priority. She got exactly that. Just didn't include me anymore. Now at 38, starting over but better than ever. No more eggshells, no more tests. No more feeling like I'm perpetually on trial. Just living my life being myself. With people who appreciate that, rather than trying to deconstruct it. 90-day rule was supposed to prove our love. It proved our relationship was already over. Just took 90 days for both of us to see it. Difference is, I was ready to accept it. She wasn't. And that's not my problem anymore.